Well, I just think improv is just so good for the noodle. I mean, it so keeps you witty and just, right here, right at the front of your...
Yep. When I first started in this business, I think that, I had studied a lot, but until I started doing improv, I didn't book anywhere near the number of commercials. I did over 400 commercials as an actress. I went back and forth to New York a lot, and I was like working it. And I really believe, I know for a fact that and when I was doing it, there was no commercial classes. I was one of the first commercial teachers who were teaching, not the first, but one of the first.
Out here or both bi-coastal? Or?
In New York, I think I was one of the very first. And then out here, there was a few casting directors at that time who were teaching it. But
who did you work with in New York?
Not for commercials.
Oh.
No, I didn't. Like I said, people came to me and said, what do you do? And I go,
I see.
I remember the first person who came to me and says, well, would you do a class? And I went, oh, okay. They said, well, what are you going to charge? And I go, I don't know, $5 a person.
$5?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember I only charged $5, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But you want to hear the interesting thing from me about that is that I believe, and I talk about this in the book, that we have an ability to do anything, act, direct, teach, whatever. We have a talent and we have a gift. Or we have a gift. It's one of the three. And there's certain areas of your life you have gifts in, there's certain areas you have talents in, and certain areas you can be taught to do anything. It's an ability to do it, right? Well, once I started teaching, and I'd been teaching for about 6 months, it really scared me. It scared me because I realized I was a much more gifted teacher than I was an actress. And I was working a lot. People, when I came to the realization, people said, what do you mean you're not gifted? I go, no. And they said, well, what's the difference between gifted and talented? And my feeling that gifted is that when I first started teaching, I would say things and make adjustments and fix people and help them. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue was what I was doing, but all I know is that when I spoke, things happened.
Magician.
Yeah, but that's a gift. And I think that with a talent, you have that some of the time, but when it's a gift. And I'm working to be spiritual. I'm not all that spiritual person, but I'm working for it. But I believe that when you have a gift at something, you have to honor it, because otherwise it's almost sacrilegious.
I believe that.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to use
act on it. And when I realized that I was a gifted teacher, it really upset me for a while. I stopped teaching because I really wanted to be an actress. And then over some time.
So are you still acting?
Oh, I still go out. To me, acting's a vacation. I get to go creative and told what to do. I have no responsibility.
And you can get back on it like it's a bike, or is it something that you go, oh?
No. I can get right back on it again. That's commercially. Theatrically, I have some people talking to me about some stuff, and I would probably go get a little bit of coaching if I got a really good role on something. But I'm not actively going after that. It's just I love acting. I really love it. It's fun. It's interesting. It's creative. It's in the moment.
I think partially is because you know all the traps and pitfalls that so many people still have to pay good money to learn or grow up just by virtue of being a newcomer.
Well, that's one of the reasons. Again, I mean, I know I feel like I'm plugging the book, but one of the reasons is you even said it earlier. You look back now when you first auditioned and interviewed agents and everything, and you're a different person now. But if you would have had half the information you have now, if someone had sat down and coached you on it, you might have gotten a different agent earlier. Things might have been different. And I'm not saying that you're not in good shape now, but you look back and we're all human beings and we just think about what we should have, would have, could have done.
Sorry.
Because we don't know.
True.
We don't know.
I remember the agent said at the end of the whole spiel, the whole interview, so do you have any questions for us? And I just sign me. Are you going to sign me? How many slots are open?
Well,
but I didn't, and instead I said, I'm all of how old? And I say, well, I'm just concerned because, I don't want to be the big fish in the little pond. And this was a big agency.
Yeah.
And they all kind of smirked at each other and they're like, you won't be. It's not a problem.
No, but you would just open up. I have questions, and you open up this page and go, this is what they are. That's why I have, because most actors don't know they can ask questions.
No, because it's the same thing when you say you just trust. Oh, that's so easier than said than
I never said just trust. I said you have to learn how to trust.
But the idea is to just trust yourself that you are doing enough. It's the same thing with I am interviewing you to work for me. It doesn't feel right when you know that you.
I got to tell you something. There was a friend of mine who was a student of mine, and he was an incredible actor and a good auditioner, but gave very bad interviews. And he was going to interview for a really big commercial agent. So he came to me and he said, "Would you coach me on interviewing?" And I said, "Okay, I'd never done it before." So I said, "Okay." So I worked with him and got rid of a lot of his inhibitions, and he saw himself on tape being interviewed and all that stuff. He went out and got the agent and booked the first jobs he went out on, and is now a spokesman for commercial. It was a really brilliant, very funny, very unique person, but he was terrified of being interviewed one-on-one. So people have their stuff, but part of what you all need to know is what you don't know and what you're not good at. And whatever you don't know and what you're not good at is what you go and get coaching. You know, when anybody calls me, I always, set up a time and I go, "How'd you find out about me?" And one of the responses I get that I always find so funny, "Oh God, I've been hearing about you for years," that kind of thing. And I go, "You just had a bad audition, didn't you?" And they go, "How do you know?" And I go, "Sometimes that's when people call. It's when they've had one too many bad auditions, and they know they should have been working on this, but they just didn't think they had the money, or they didn't think it was important." Because there's a school of people out there who think that, it's commercials. You don't need to be any good. You just show up. It's physical. Well, yeah, it is physical, a lot of it, but it isn't all physical. And so it's important to know what it is you can do about it, not just throw it out there.
Well, I was going to start to mention about headshots. It's funny because it's hard. It's hard to get that right look to get you in front of somebody, But
Right.
I guess one could also learn about that in your class and from your website, which is
CarolynBarry.com, and I spell it a little differently. It's Caroly, not Y, but CarolynBarry. Barry. And on my website, which I think is really helpful to people, at least I've been told it is, I have like 16 teaching videos that are on there, like 2 and 3 minute clips from me teaching at a big workshop that I did. That they divided up into clips. I've got little excerpts from the book. I've got some podcasts that I've done. And so, yes, when people go to my website, yes, I would like them to call me and come and, maybe do a class or two with me. But if they can't afford it, or they're out of town or whatever, there's stuff there that can help people.
Wonderful.
Right
and I suppose they could get a link or buy directly.
They can buy
products.
directly through me. I know that Breakdown is selling it on their website, because I've gotten several orders from them already. And they can go to Amazon. They can go to my website. When they come see me, a lot of people get it at that time. It's just... each product is different for different sets of people. The children's DVD is definitely for kids, and they're mostly their parents, because children actors are, to me, the most vulnerable for being ripped off, because parents want so much for their kids. They listen to people that they shouldn't be listening to. And there's in terms of pictures too, there's a whole section in the book and in the DVD and the children's video about pictures, because pictures are very important.
Right.
And there is a lot of photographers out there, and I think probably only 10% are worth people's money, but they don't even know what to do to prepare for the shoot. There's a lot you can do, and the people just don't know. They just think, it's just taking pictures. Well, it isn't. The right colors, the right hairstyles. Maybe you should lose some weight before you do it, or gain some weight, or maybe go get a makeup consultation for women, or men cut their sideburns or do their eyebrows. There's a lot you can do to prepare for a shoot. Not only that, but how do you actually pick pictures? If you don't have an agent yet, how do you choose the ones? And there's a whole process to that. It's just, for me, it's easy.
Well, yeah, you're the walking encyclopedia, and it makes sense that, there's a bevy of information out there, and it sounds like you're a good point for all of that information. Right. You're a good resource and very helpful.
I've been doing it for a long time, and I love what I do, and it's not about, yes, it's a business, and I do make money, but on the other hand, it's a win-win, because I provide a lot for it.
You love it, and that's obvious.
It.
And it's it's a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you.
And I will look forward to being more familiar with your
stuff.
With your stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.